Have you ever asked yourself, why me? Why was I born into this family? This country? This body? This life? Is it all just random? Some roll of cosmic dice? Or, is there a reason? The Buddha taught, nothing happens without a cause. Your joy, your pain, your challenges, they're not punishments. They're echoes. Echoes of seeds planted long ago. This life is not an accident. It's karma unfolding, gently, silently, but precisely. And once you understand how karma works, you stop blaming the world. You start planting different seeds. In the next 70 minutes, we'll journey deep into what the Buddha truly taught about karma, fate, and the incredible power you still have, right now, to shape not only this life, but the next. Take a deep breath. Let's begin. You took a breath just now. Did you notice it? A moment ago, you were simply listening. Now, your body moved, your lungs expanded, and life continued flowing, without effort, without asking for your permission. It's almost miraculous, isn't it? But what if I told you that even this breath was not random? That even your being here, listening to this very teaching, is not some accidental click in the vast ocean of YouTube? According to the Buddha, our lives are not puzzles made of chaos, but patterns made of karma. We're not drifting through space without direction. We're riding the very waves we once created. Let's pause on that for a moment. Think about the life you're living right now. The people around you, the struggles you've been through, the dreams you've yet to reach. Is it all just happening to you? Or is it, perhaps, something you've been unfolding for lifetimes? The Buddha never told us to believe blindly. In fact, he encouraged deep inquiry. He said, come and see for yourself. So let's do just that. Let's begin to see this life differently. Let's begin by shedding one idea. The idea that your life is just the result of luck, coincidence, or fate written in the stars by someone else. You are not here by mistake. You are not suffering by accident. You are not awakening by chance. In Buddhist teaching, we speak of karma, but not in the oversimplified way it's often portrayed. Karma is not, do good, get good. It's not cosmic punishment or reward. It's cause and effect. It's the law of natural unfolding. It is the mirror that reflects not only your actions, but the intentions behind them. Karma begins the moment a thought arises with intention. That means your life is shaped not just by what you do, but by what you mean when you do it. This is why two people can do the same thing, say, give to charity, but one creates wholesome karma, and the other creates very little. One gives with love and compassion. The other gives with pride or guilt. Different roots, different fruits. Now let's return to you. Your birth wasn't just a beginning. It was a continuation. The body you were born into, the culture, the genetics, the circumstances, these are all conditions shaped by previous actions. Maybe not from last week. Maybe not even from this lifetime. But the karmic seeds ripened. And this life is what bloomed. The Buddha taught that our present experience is like a field, and karma is like the seeds we plant in it. The field cannot choose what grows. It simply supports the growth of whatever is planted. So, if your life feels painful, unfair, or confusing, this isn't about blame. It's about understanding. It's about seeing clearly. What seeds have ripened, and what seeds am I planting now? Because this moment, right now, is not only the fruit of past karma. It's also the soil of future karma. And that gives you incredible power. You are not helpless in your karma. You are the gardener. You can plant something new, something peaceful, something beautiful. But first, you have to wake up from the illusion that life is happening to you. In truth, life is unfolding from you. Let's take this even deeper. Have you ever noticed how patterns repeat in your life? Same types of relationships, same emotional triggers, same struggles. You move to a new city, meet new people, Try a new job. But somehow, it feels like the same problems follow you. Why? The Buddha would say, because the karmic seeds haven't changed. You're changing the scenery. But the karma, the deep tendencies of mind and heart, remain untouched. Until you change your inner causes, the outer effects will keep cycling back. And that's what samsara is. The wheel of birth, death, and rebirth, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. You don't need to wait for another lifetime to be reborn. You're already being reborn every moment you choose kindness over anger, wisdom over ignorance, mindfulness over reaction. This is how we stop the wheel. This is how we unfold karma mindfully. Let's bring this back to daily life. Maybe today, someone hurt your feelings. You felt rejected. You lashed out. Or maybe you shut down. It seems like a small thing. But in Buddhism, that moment is powerful. Because it's a seed. If you respond with anger, you plant a seed of pain. If you respond with compassion, even for yourself, you plant a seed of peace. And in time, that seed will grow. So the question isn't just, why is this happening to me? The question is, what am I creating in this moment? Your life is not an accident. It's a sacred unfolding of actions, choices, thoughts, and intentions. Every smile, every sigh, every kind word, every bitter complaint, they all leave an imprint. Not in the sky, not in a ledger, but in your own heart. So, as we begin this deeper journey into karma, I invite you to reflect, not with judgment, but with curiosity. What kind of seeds are you planting today? And are they the seeds you want to harvest tomorrow? Take a breath again, not just with your lungs, but with your awareness. This is where it all begins. Right here, right now. Again, in the last part, we explored a fundamental shift, seeing this life not as a random event, but as karma unfolding. It's a humbling insight and also an empowering one, because once we see clearly how cause and effect shape our lives, we begin to understand how much influence we truly have. But what is karma, really? The word karma gets thrown around a lot these days, on social media, in pop culture, even in casual conversations. Someone gets caught cheating and we say, that's karma. A rude person stubs their toe, and someone smirks. Instant karma. It's become a sort of spiritual justice system in people's minds. But that's not how the Buddha saw it. Karma, in its original Sanskrit and Pali roots, simply means action. But not just any action. It refers specifically to intentional action. In Buddhism, karma isn't about external events. It's not punishment or reward handed down by some invisible force. Karma is cause and effect. But on the level of consciousness, the Buddha taught that every intentional thought, word, and deed plants a seed. That seed doesn't disappear. It remains in our mind stream, in our being, and when the right conditions come together, it ripens. It bears fruit, sometimes in this life, sometimes in another. And this is crucial. It's not just what we do that creates karma, it's why we do it. For example, if you give money to someone in need, what matters in karma is not just the act of giving, but your intention behind it. Did you give out of love? Out of guilt? Out of fear of being judged? Out of a desire for praise? Each of those intentions plants a very different kind of seed, and each will ripen differently. This means that karma isn't a system of cosmic fairness, it's a system of deep responsibility. You're not being judged. You're not being watched. You're simply participating in a law as real as gravity. And because it's internal, it's deeply personal. Now, this may feel overwhelming. Some people hear this and think, so, every little thought I have matters? Every word I say is shaping my future? In a way, yes. But don't let that make you anxious. Let it make you mindful. We don't need to control every thought like a tyrant. The point isn't perfection. The point is awareness. Because the Buddha also taught, Awareness itself transforms karma. When we act unconsciously, we're just reinforcing old habits, old patterns, old karmic seeds. But when we act with awareness, with mindfulness, with compassion, we begin to shift the entire direction of our life. We stop reacting, we start responding. That's why meditation is so central to Buddhism, not just as a calming tool, but as a karmic revolution. When you sit quietly, watching your breath, noticing your thoughts, you're not just relaxing, you're stepping outside the wheel of habitual karma. You're choosing to be awake, and that changes everything. Let's go deeper. Karma can be divided into three main types: bodily karma, what we do with our body; verbal karma, what we say; and mental karma, what we think and intend. All three matter. Physical actions tend to create strong karmic imprints, like acts of violence or kindness. Verbal karma is also powerful, especially because words shape relationships and influence others deeply. But mental karma, your intentions, your motivations, form the root. A violent act done in a fit of rage has a different karmic weight than the same act done under duress or confusion. Why? Because karma arises with intention. That's what makes it so powerful and so subtle. Think of it like planting seeds in a vast field. Every day, with every thought and word and deed, you're planting something. You might not see the sprouts right away, but they're there. And one day, under the right conditions, they'll grow. If you plant anger, resentment, and jealousy, even quietly, even in your own mind, you're growing a future filled with inner conflict. If you plant patience, forgiveness, and joy, even silently, you're creating a future filled with peace. This is what the Buddha meant when he said, "With our thoughts, we make the world." It also means that no moment is insignificant. Every moment holds the potential for liberation, or for more bondage. The good news? We don't need to wait for some future life to start seeing results. Karma is not just a long-term investment, it can also bear fruit quickly. A kind word can brighten someone's day immediately. A cruel comment can cause pain in seconds. The effects are happening all the time. But the deepest karma, what we might call character karma, takes time. It's the slow shaping of who you are becoming. And that karma, unlike circumstances, is entirely in your hands. Let's bring this closer to home. Think of someone you admire, not for their wealth or status, but for their presence. Maybe it's a teacher, a grandparent, or even a stranger you once met. Someone who radiates calm, compassion, inner strength. That didn't happen by accident. That quality of being, the peace in their eyes, the softness in their voice, the steadiness in their presence, is the result of karma. Not just one moment, but many, many choices, many intentions, many silent victories over selfishness, anger, or fear. The Buddha said that the most beautiful thing in the world is a mind that has been trained. Why? Because a trained mind plants wholesome karma consistently. And over time, that karma becomes your character, your destiny, your offering to the world. This is why karma is not about fatalism, it's about freedom. You are not bound by your past. You are shaped by it. Yes, but you are not trapped in it. You're not doomed by your mistakes. You're not defined by your pain. In every moment, you are creating new karma. You're laying down new tracks. The past may echo, but it does not dictate. This is one of the most liberating truths in Buddhism. You're not at the mercy of fate. You are not a victim of chance. You are a participant in the unfolding of your own life. And the more awake you become, the more skillfully you can participate. But to do that, you have to take responsibility, not blame. Blame is rooted in shame. Responsibility is rooted in wisdom. Blame says, "I messed up. I'm bad. I'm hopeless." Responsibility says, "I see what happened. I want to understand it. I want to grow from it." Blame freezes you. Responsibility frees you. So when something painful happens, don't rush to say, "That's just my karma." Don't use karma as an excuse to give up or avoid growth. Use it as a mirror. Ask, what am I meant to see here? What part of me is being shown? What can I learn from this? Because karma is not about judgment. It's about feedback. And once you begin listening, life starts to teach you everything. Now, some people ask, is everything in my life because of karma? Every accident? Every illness? Every hardship? The Buddha's answer was nuanced. He said, some things are due to karma. Some are due to biology, environment, or chance conditions. But karma determines how you experience them, how you respond, how you rise or don't from what life brings. And that's where your power lives. In the end, karma is not something to fear, it's something to befriend. It's not a law to run from. It's a truth to walk with. Because karma is not somewhere outside you, it is you. You are the field, you are the seed, you are the water, the sun and the hand that tends the soil. And when you begin to live with that awareness, something beautiful happens. You stop reacting, you start responding, you stop blaming, you start transforming, you stop waiting, you start planting, and your life becomes not just something you live, but something you offer, like a garden that feeds others, like a flame that lights the way. So take heart. Karma isn't punishment, it's potential. It's your chance to begin again, right now. And every moment from here is a doorway. The only question is, what will you walk through with? Shall we go deeper? In the previous part, we came to a clear understanding. Karma is not fate, not judgment, and not superstition. It's the natural unfolding of intentional actions. Now we go one step further, to understand that your current life, in all of its colors and corners, is the ripening of seeds planted long ago. Think of your life today. Think of your habits, your challenges, your tendencies, the way you handle stress, the way you love, the way you fear. None of these appeared out of nowhere. They are not random traits you woke up with. They are patterns, the results of past causes coming into full bloom. This is one of the most powerful and intimate teachings of the Buddha. He taught that the conditions we are born into, and the situations we encounter, are shaped by past karma. But more than that, he showed us how deeply these seeds influence our experience of reality. It's important to pause here and remember, this is not about blame. It's not about shame. It's about clarity. We're not victims of past karma. We are participants in a vast, intricate process of unfolding causes and conditions. Imagine a tree. It started as a seed. That seed needed soil, water, light, time. All those things helped it become what it is now. Your life is just like that tree. The seed may have been planted lifetimes ago. The soil may be your family, your culture, your body. The sunlight and rain are the opportunities and challenges you meet along the way. And just like trees bear different fruits, our lives bear different results, some sweet, some bitter, but they all come from seeds. Let's make this even more personal. Have you ever had a fear that didn't seem to make sense? A longing that was hard to explain? A natural ability that surprised even you? These, too, can be karmic imprints, traces from past lives, echoes of intentions once made, actions once taken. There's a story in the Buddhist tradition about a monk who was born with a beautiful voice. Even his chanting calmed others and brought joy. When asked why, the Buddha explained that in a past life, that monk had spoken gently and truthfully, always using his words to soothe and uplift. His voice now was the fruit of that karma. This might sound mystical, but it's not magic. It's just continuity. As water takes the shape of whatever it flows into, so does our consciousness carry forward into new forms, shaped by past movement. And what about suffering? So many people ask, if karma is real, why do good people suffer? It's a fair question. And the answer isn't always easy to accept, but it is consistent with the law of cause and effect. Karma isn't about what you deserve. It's about seeds ripening. Sometimes, the fruit of a past action takes years, or even lifetimes, to appear. A person might live a kind, ethical life now, but still carry unresolved karma from the past. When conditions are right, that karma ripens, not as punishment, but as a continuation. It's like planting a seed for a mango tree. You won't get fruit tomorrow, but one day, under the right sun and rain, the mango will appear. The same goes for unwholesome karma. And that's why we can never truly know what someone else is going through, or why. We can only tend to our own field with care. And yet, there's something even deeper here. The most important part of karma is not what happened before. It's what's happening now. Because even if the seeds are from the past, the ripening happens in the present. And the way we meet this ripening determines the next cycle of karma. This is the power of awareness. For example, let's say someone treats you unfairly. That experience might be the ripening of an old seed. You planted it long ago, in some forgotten moment. But right now, in this life, how you respond to it becomes your next seed. You could react with anger, blame, resentment, planting more of the same. Or, you could meet it with patience, wisdom, even compassion. And that transforms everything. This is what the Buddha meant when he said, "The past is already gone. The future is not yet here. The only reality is now." Right now, karma is ripening in your life, through your body, your relationships, your work, your emotions. But also right now, you are creating new karma, with your choices, your speech, your thoughts. You're living in the middle of a harvest, while also planting the next one. And here's the beautiful paradox. No matter how painful the fruit that ripens today, the seed you plant in response can be one of peace. You can meet anger with stillness. You can meet loss with gratitude. You can meet fear with faith. That's not denying reality, it's transforming it. And when you do that, something extraordinary happens. You begin to interrupt the cycle. You stop repeating the same karmic loops. You open space for freedom. This is what liberation really means in Buddhism. Not escape from the world, but freedom in the world. Not the end of action, but the end of unconscious reaction. And it all begins with understanding how past karma ripens in the present. Let's return to your life, your body, your emotions, your family. The Buddha taught that even our physical form is shaped by karma. Our health, our abilities, even our appearance, these are all conditions influenced by previous actions. Does that mean illness is punishment? No, but it may be the ripening of certain seeds, perhaps from actions that harmed others, or from unwholesome mental states carried over time. And this includes collective karma as well. The shared karma of families, communities, even nations. But again, this isn't a reason to feel guilt. It's a reason to live deeply. Because what you do now, how you think, speak, and act, can begin to shift the trajectory of your life. You may be carrying the fruit of old seeds, but you are also the sower of new ones. And if you want to change your future, you begin by changing your present. One of the greatest tools we have is mindfulness. When you are mindful, you see what is ripening, and you respond with wisdom. You don't deny your pain. You don't suppress your anger. You hold it, breathe through it, and act from clarity instead of habit. That's what transforms karma, not just wishing, not just waiting, but living with presence. And this transformation is not abstract. It happens in real, daily moments. When someone cuts you off in traffic, when your partner disappoints you, when your plans fall apart, when you feel unloved, unseen, or overwhelmed, in these moments, past karma is ripening. But also in these moments, you are choosing what comes next. The cycle is never locked. The wheel can always turn a new way. That's why the Buddha emphasized not just meditation, but ethical living, keeping precepts, practicing generosity, speaking truthfully. These are ways to plant new seeds, not in fear of punishment, but in honor of your future. Because one day, the seeds you plant today will ripen. The kindness you show will return as support. The patience you build will return as peace. The clarity you practice will return as wisdom. And even when the world doesn't seem to notice, even when no one praises you, these seeds are still taking root. This is the quiet power of karma. It doesn't always shout, but it always grows. So the question is, what are you cultivating in the garden of your life? What kind of fruit do you want to offer to yourself, to others, to the world? And are your current thoughts and actions aligned with that vision? Because if they are, you're already on the path. This life, as it stands, is not a mistake. It's not a test. It's not a punishment. It is a mirror. It is the flowering of thousands of choices, and the seedbed of thousands more. And that is sacred. So be gentle with your pain. Be kind to your confusion. Be loving with your fear. They are all fruits of something old. And you, right now, have the power to plant something new. Let your life become the evidence of that transformation. Let your next breath be the beginning. Let your next step be intentional. And let this very moment become the soil of your awakening. If everything in your life is the result of karma, if every joy and sorrow is the fruit of seeds you planted long ago, then you might be wondering, where does free will fit in? Do we still have a choice? Or are we just puppets of our past? This is one of the most common and most important questions people ask when they first learn about karma. It's natural to wonder, if I was born with this personality, if I inherited this body, this family, these conditions, then do I have any real power? Or am I just stuck with whatever karma I'm carrying? Let's look closely. Because the Buddha gave a profound and liberating answer to this. Yes, karma shapes the conditions of our lives. But no, karma does not lock us in a cage. In fact, the very reason the Buddha taught about karma was to show us how to be free from it. It's true that the past is powerful. But it's also true that the present is more powerful still. Because this moment, right now, is where karma meets awareness. And where there is awareness, there is choice. This is the great key. Karma determines your tendencies, not your destiny. It influences your impulses, not your final decisions. Let's take a simple example. Say someone insults you. Maybe your karmic tendency is to react with anger. That's the groove your mind has traveled for years, maybe even lifetimes. But in the space between the insult and your reaction, there is a moment, a breath, a gap. In that gap, if you're mindful, you see the impulse rise. You feel the heat. You recognize the pattern. And in that awareness, you gain the freedom to choose. You can follow the old path, or you can plant something new. This is the moment when karma can be transformed. The Buddha called this moment the arising of wisdom. And it doesn't just happen in meditation halls. It happens in the grocery store, in the living room, in the traffic jam, in the middle of an argument. Whenever you pause and see clearly, you are exercising your free will. You are stepping off the wheel of reactivity and into the space of conscious response. This is what makes human life so precious in Buddhism. Not because we're the smartest or the strongest, but because we have the rare capacity to reflect, to observe, to change. Animals are largely driven by instinct. Gods, in Buddhist cosmology, are too blissful to reflect. But humans live in the middle realm, where joy and sorrow meet, where clarity and confusion battle, where karma ripens fast and free will matters most. This is why the Buddha said, "Rare is the birth as a human being. Don't waste it. You have a window. A sliver of space between what arises and what you choose. That sliver is freedom, but it has to be trained. That's where practice comes in. Mindfulness isn't just about peace, it's about power. The power to redirect your life, to interrupt ancient patterns, to step away from the momentum of past karma and create a new direction. Let's go deeper. Karma may push you to the edge, but it cannot make you jump. That last step is always yours. Even the most painful patterns, the ones that seem impossible to break, are not chains. They're just grooves. Deep, yes. Familiar, yes. But not inevitable. If you've spent your life reacting with fear, with anger, with shame, it may feel like there's no other way. But even then, you are never without choice. You can pause, you can breathe, you can see the story running in your mind, and choose to write a new one. This is why meditation is revolutionary. Not because it removes you from the world, but because it teaches you how to stay in the world without being ruled by it. In meditation, you sit with your patterns. You watch your mind lean toward judgment, toward craving, toward distraction, and you learn, gently, patiently, to return. Each return is an act of free will. Each return is new karma being formed. And slowly, a shift happens. The old karma loses its grip. The new karma begins to take root. It's not dramatic. It's not instant. But it is real. And over time, it changes your life. Let's consider a deeper example. Imagine someone was abused as a child. They grow up feeling unloved, mistrustful, angry. Their relationships suffer. Their inner world feels heavy. Is this karma? Perhaps. The pain of their experience may be linked to past causes. But here's the miracle. That person, in this life, can choose to break the cycle. They can seek healing. They can practice forgiveness, not to excuse what happened, but to free themselves from its chains. They can learn to love again, to trust again, to become a refuge for others who suffer. This is not a denial of karma, it's the highest expression of it. Because the ultimate fruit of karma is not suffering. It's awakening. Suffering is just the message. Awakening is the reply. You are not here to be punished by your past. You are here to meet it with wisdom, to use it as the path. The Buddha himself was born into wealth and comfort, but he chose to leave it behind. Why? Because he saw that even in pleasure, karma continued, birth continued, death continued, and he wanted to find the end of it. So he sat beneath a tree and refused to rise until he saw the root of it all. And what did he find? That karma begins in ignorance, but it ends in insight. That the fire of craving can be extinguished. That freedom is possible, because we always have a choice. And this is the most compassionate part of the teaching. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to erase the past. You just have to wake up now. Because karma is always waiting for a new direction. If you plant a seed of anger, but then you recognize it, hold it with mindfulness, breathe through it, and choose kindness instead, that single moment can outweigh 100 seeds of confusion. The Buddha said, a single moment of mindfulness is more powerful than 1,000 unwholesome actions. Why? Because it stops the wheel. It breaks the chain of cause and effect. It transforms the flow of karma from unconscious repetition to conscious creation. This is not just theory. It's your life. Today, you will be tempted by fear, by irritation, by habit. That's normal. That's karma. But you also have this: the power to pause, to breathe, to choose. That is not karma. That is you. So don't believe the voice that says, you'll never change. That voice is old karma speaking. You are not your past. You are not your habits. You are not your pain. You are the awareness behind them all. You are the stillness between the thought and the action. You are the space where new karma can be born. So honor that space. Tend to it. Practice it. Because every time you do, you're not just changing your life, you're changing the lives of others. Your kindness becomes someone else's ease. Your presence becomes someone else's comfort. Your courage becomes someone else's hope. And all of that begins with a single choice. This life is not an accident. It is the field of your karma. And right now, you are the farmer. What will you plant today? The wheel is turning. The seed is in your hand. Choose well. By now, we've explored how karma works, how every thought, word, and action plants a seed, and how awareness gives us the freedom to choose new directions. But there's still a question that lingers in the hearts of many. A question that is both human and haunting. Why do bad things happen to good people? We've all seen it. People who live with integrity, who care for others, who practice kindness, yet they suffer. They get sick. They lose loved ones. They face poverty, injustice, heartbreak, and meanwhile, others who lie, cheat, or act selfishly seem to thrive. It feels unfair. And if karma is real, it raises a disturbing thought. Is that good person suffering because of something they did? Is this some kind of cosmic punishment? The short answer is no. But the full answer takes more depth, more compassion, and more perspective. Let's start here. Karma is not moral judgment. It's not divine punishment. It's not about who deserves what. It is simply the law of cause and effect, unfolding across time, in ways that are often too complex for the human mind to trace. The Buddha taught that the effects of karma don't always appear immediately. Some karmic seeds ripen in this lifetime. Others ripen later. Some take many lifetimes to bear fruit. And in between, there are countless conditions influencing how, when, and where they ripen. Imagine a vast garden. You've planted thousands of seeds. Some yesterday, some 10 years ago, some lifetimes ago. Different plants sprout at different times. Some grow fast. Others stay hidden underground for decades. Some blossom with the right sunlight. Others wait for winter. This is the reality of karma. What we experience today is not necessarily the direct result of what we did yesterday. It may be the ripening of causes long past, causes that we can't see or remember. But that still shape the present. That's why it's never useful to say, this suffering must be your karma. Even if it's true in principle, it can be deeply harmful in practice. Because it ignores the complexity of the human condition. It replaces compassion with cold logic. And most of all, it turns a teaching meant to liberate into one that blames. The Buddha never used karma to shame people. He used it to empower them. He never said, you suffer because you're bad. He said, you suffer because causes and conditions have ripened, and with wisdom, you can create new causes for freedom. So when good people suffer, we don't ask, what did they do to deserve this? We ask, how can we help? How can we love them through it? How can we respond in a way that plants better seeds for all of us? Compassion is the right response to suffering, not analysis. Now let's take a deeper look at what it means to be good. Because sometimes we assume that being good means we'll be safe, protected, immune from harm. But the Buddha never promised that. He never said that goodness shields us from all pain. He said that goodness purifies the mind, and in that purification, we begin to suffer differently. Let me explain. When someone who has lived selfishly suffers, their suffering often deepens their confusion. They resist, they blame, they lash out. Their pain becomes more pain. But when someone who has cultivated virtue suffers, something else can happen. Their pain becomes a doorway. It softens them. It opens their heart. It deepens their compassion for others. This doesn't mean the pain is less, but its effect is different. It becomes meaningful. It becomes fuel for awakening. There's a story of a woman named Kisagatami, whose child died. She was devastated. She went to the Buddha, asking him to bring her son back. The Buddha told her to bring him a mustard seed from a house that had never known death. She went from door to door, but every house had lost someone. She came back to the Buddha in tears, not with a seed, but with a new understanding. Her grief didn't disappear, but it transformed. It became wisdom. It became compassion. This is the miracle of spiritual practice. Not that it removes all suffering, but that it reshapes it. It's not that bad things never happen to good people. It's that good people turn bad things into good seeds. They don't waste their pain. They grow through it. That's what the Buddha called noble suffering, the kind of pain that leads to liberation. Not more bondage. So when you suffer, don't ask only, why me? Ask also, what now? What am I being shown? What can I plant here, in the ashes of this experience? Because your suffering may not be your fault, but your response is your freedom. And even when you feel powerless, you can choose that. Let's go even further. There's another layer to this question of suffering, and it has to do with the hidden nature of karma. In modern Western thinking, we like clear lines. A causes B. Good deeds lead to good results. Bad deeds lead to bad results. But in Buddhism, karma is more like a web than a chain. It's not a straight line, it's an intricate network of causes and conditions. Visible and invisible. This means we rarely see the full picture. We don't know the ancient roots of our tendencies. We don't see the countless lives we've lived. We can't always know why things unfold as they do. So instead of demanding certainty, we cultivate humility. The wise person doesn't say, I understand it all. They say, I trust that all things arise from causes, and I will meet them with clarity and compassion. This is a different kind of strength. Not the strength of control, but the strength of surrender, of trusting the law of karma, even when you can't trace it. And from that trust comes peace. Because the moment you stop fighting with reality, you start flowing with it. The moment you stop saying, this shouldn't be happening, and instead ask, how can I respond wisely? Everything changes. You're no longer a victim of life. You're a partner in its unfolding. This doesn't mean we don't act to change injustice. The Buddha never said to be passive. He encouraged action, skillful, compassionate, grounded action, but action rooted in understanding, not in bitterness, in wisdom, not in rage. When bad things happen to good people, it's not a contradiction of karma. It's an invitation to see deeper, to respond better, to awaken faster. Sometimes, the suffering you're experiencing is the final ripening of a long cycle. It's the last fruit of a bitter seed. If you meet it with awareness, with patience, with kindness, you may be ending a karmic chapter that's lasted for lifetimes. Sometimes, the suffering you experience is not yours alone. It's part of collective karma, a pain shared by your family, your country, your generation. In meeting it with compassion, you're not just freeing yourself, you're freeing everyone connected to that thread. And sometimes, the suffering you carry becomes your gift to the world. Because having walked through fire, you now carry light. How many teachers, healers, and helpers have risen not in spite of their suffering, but because of it? How many people have turned their wounds into wisdom? You can, too. Because karma is not just about what's been done. It's about what's possible now. And what's possible now is this: to meet life exactly as it is, with an open heart, a steady mind, and the courage to plant better seeds. So the next time you ask, why do bad things happen to good people? You might answer, because good people are the ones who can transform them. Not because they deserve it, but because they're ready. And maybe that's you. Maybe that's what this moment is asking of you, not to understand perfectly, but to respond wisely. Not to avoid pain, but to use it. Not to explain karma, but to embody it. This life is no accident. This moment is not meaningless. This suffering is not wasted. It is a turning point. And how you turn will shape not only your future, but the future of every life you touch. So take a breath, feel your heart, notice your next thought, and ask yourself, what am I planting right now? Because even in the middle of pain, you still hold the seed. Now that we've understood how karma works, why it's not about blame, and how even painful moments can become turning points. There's a natural question that arises. What can I do now? How do I plant good karma today? In the middle of this life, with its confusion, its busyness, its endless distractions? The answer is simple, but not easy. You begin where you are. You plant seeds not in some perfect future, but in the soil of your ordinary day. Planting good karma doesn't require grand gestures. It doesn't require you to change careers, leave your family, or meditate in a cave. It requires only this: conscious action, clear intention, a willingness to meet the present moment with wisdom and heart. Let's begin with something very close: your thoughts. Every thought you cultivate strengthens a pathway in your mind. Angry thoughts build anger. Loving thoughts build compassion, even when no one else hears them. Your thoughts are shaping your inner world, and eventually, your outer one. So notice them, catch them as they arise. When resentment appears, don't feed it. When judgment arises, question it. When compassion shows up, nourish it. Each time you choose a wholesome thought, you're planting new karma. Then there is speech. Our words may seem fleeting, but they echo in others' lives long after we speak them. Words can wound. Words can heal. Words can inspire change or deepen despair. What you say is a powerful form of karmic creation. Speak truthfully. Speak gently. Speak with purpose. And when silence is more skillful than speech, honor that too. The Buddha taught that right speech has 4 qualities. It is true. It is kind. It is beneficial. And it is timely. Imagine how different the world would be if we practiced just this one teaching every day. And you can begin today, with the very next sentence you speak. Then there is action. Karma lives in action. How you move through your day, how you treat people, how you spend your time, all of these choices are planting seeds. And again, this doesn't have to be dramatic. Holding the door for someone is karma. Giving someone your full attention is karma. Feeding a stray animal, picking up trash, offering a kind smile to a tired cashier. All of these are actions that shape your future. But planting good karma also means knowing what not to do. Avoiding harm is just as important as doing good. If you can't help someone, at least don't hurt them. If you can't speak kindly, at least stay silent. If you're unsure what to do, pause and let wisdom catch up. Buddhism offers the 5 precepts not as commandments, but as guidelines for planting good karma. They are simple, practical, and powerful. Do not kill. Do not steal. Do not misuse sexual energy. Do not lie. Do not intoxicate the mind. These precepts are not about being morally pure. They're about preserving clarity. When you follow them, your mind becomes more stable. Your choices become clearer, and the seeds you plant are less tangled with greed, anger, or confusion. You don't have to follow them perfectly, but each time you honor them, even imperfectly, you're aligning yourself with a better future. Now, let's talk about intention. Intention is everything in karma. 2 people can do the same thing, but if one acts from love and the other from pride, the karma is different. So ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I acting to impress others? Or to help them? Am I giving to feel important? Or to truly ease someone's pain? Am I being kind because I want something? Or because I recognize our shared humanity? The clearer your intention, the cleaner your karma. That's why mindfulness is so essential. When you're present, you can see your intention before you act. You can course correct. You can act from a deeper place. This is how you begin to live on purpose, not from habit, not from ego, but from awareness. And you don't have to be perfect. Even one wholesome intention, held sincerely, can change the course of a day, a life, a future. So, how do you bring this into daily life? Let's get practical. Start small. Pick one part of your day, your morning routine, your commute, your meals, and make it intentional. Brush your teeth with mindfulness. Walk to your car with gratitude. Eat with awareness of the labor that brought your food to the table. Each moment like this is a seed. Each act of awareness is a ripple of karma. Then expand it outward. Set an intention in the morning, not for what you want to achieve, but for how you want to show up. You might say, "Today I will try to speak kindly," or "Today I will try not to react in anger," or even just, "Today I will try to be present." This becomes your compass. You may forget it, you may fall short, but each time you remember, you're planting something beautiful. You can also plant good karma through generosity. Giving is one of the most powerful ways to shift karma, because it loosens the grip of self. And generosity isn't just about money. You can give your time, your attention, your energy, your forgiveness, your presence. The Buddha said, "If beings knew the power of generosity as I do, they would not let a single meal pass without sharing it." Give without expecting anything in return. Give because it frees you. That's where the karma blooms. Another powerful seed is patience. In a culture that prizes speed and instant results, patience is radical. When you're patient with others, with yourself, with the process of life, you're saying, "I trust. I'm not controlled by craving. I'm not ruled by reactivity." Patience transforms karma because it interrupts the cycle. It gives old seeds time to die and new ones time to grow. Forgiveness, too, is fertile soil. Holding onto resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person gets sick. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing harm. It means you refuse to keep planting the same seed of anger. When you forgive, you stop rehearsing the pain. You stop feeding the story. And you free your own heart to grow something new. Don't forget joy. Joy is sacred. When you celebrate someone else's success, when you take delight in the beauty around you, when you savor a moment of peace, that is also karma. Rejoicing in goodness, even when it's not yours, multiplies it, and it opens your heart to the truth. We're not separate. Your joy is my joy. Your healing is mine too. And then there is meditation. Meditation is not just a break from the world. It's where you cultivate the deepest karmic seeds. In meditation, you train your mind to be steady, to be kind, to be clear. You notice your thoughts without being caught by them. You witness emotions rise and fall without drowning in them. This clarity changes everything, because when you sit and truly observe, you begin to see how much of your life is automatic. How often you're planting seeds without knowing it. And in that seeing, you reclaim your power. Even 10 minutes a day can shift the trajectory of your karma. Finally, remember this. Planting good karma is not about earning reward. It's not a spiritual transaction. It's about alignment. When your actions match your deepest values, your life becomes congruent. You live with less regret, less noise inside, more peace. And even if the outer results don't change right away, even if life still brings difficulty, you know in your bones that you are living true. That is freedom. So start now. Choose one small seed today. One kind thought, one patient word, one generous act, one breath of presence. That's all it takes. Because just like one match can light a dark room, one mindful act can shift the course of karma. You don't have to wait until you're perfect. You don't have to fix your past. You just have to begin now, with whatever you have. Wherever you are, the seed is in your hand. The soil is this moment. The future is wide open. So plant wisely, water daily, and trust that, in time, beauty will grow. You've made it this far on the journey. Through these reflections, you've looked deeply into karma, into your own heart, and into the vast patterns that shape your life. You've seen that karma is not about reward and punishment, it's about causes and effects. And more importantly, you've seen that you are not bound by your past. You are empowered by the present. This final part of our journey is about living that truth, not just knowing it. but embodying it, not just understanding karma, but letting that understanding change the way you walk through the world. Because the ultimate fruit of karma is peace. Not peace as an idea, but peace as your natural way of being. Living with peace begins by letting go. Letting go of blame, letting go of shame, letting go of the story that says you are your mistakes, or that your worth is measured by your past. That story is not you. It's only a shadow, a residue of old causes and habits. The real you is deeper, clearer, more spacious. The real you is the awareness that sees, that learns, that chooses. So take a breath, place your hand on your heart, if you like, and say to yourself, gently, I am not my past. I am the one who meets it with love. Peace begins the moment you stop fighting with what already is. The moment you stop asking, why did this happen? And start asking, what can I learn from this? Peace doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean being passive. It means showing up to each moment with clarity and compassion, instead of resistance and fear. When something painful happens, you can ask, what karmic seeds are ripening now? Not to blame yourself, but to understand the deeper patterns. And then you can ask, what new seed can I plant in response? That shift, from reaction to response, is the heart of peace. It's the moment when karma stops being a prison and becomes a path. Now, living in peace also means living with others in a way that supports their peace too. Because your karma is not isolated. Your actions ripple out. When you speak kindly, someone else softens. When you act with integrity, someone else feels safe. When you show patience, someone else learns they can breathe again. This is how karma becomes collective healing. You don't have to change the world overnight, but you can change the moment. And that moment changes the next. Peace begins small, but it multiplies. One of the most powerful ways to live in peace is to forgive, not only others, but yourself. So many people carry secret shame for things they've done. Maybe it was a lie they told, a person they hurt, a habit they couldn't break. And they think, because of this, I am unworthy. I have bad karma. I can never be free. But here is the truth. Karma is not a fixed sentence. It's a flowing river. Every sincere act of regret, every apology, every decision to do better, these things shift the current. You don't need to punish yourself to be free. You need to forgive yourself. Learn from the past, and live better now. Think of a garden. Maybe you planted weeds last season. That doesn't mean the soil is ruined forever. You can pull the weeds. You can prepare the soil. And you can plant something new. This is living with peace, seeing clearly, acting wisely, and trusting the process. Another part of peace is acceptance, not passive acceptance, but active engagement with reality as it is. You accept that people are imperfect, that life includes suffering, that not everything will go your way. But within that acceptance, you find stability. You stop needing life to be perfect in order to be happy. That's a radical shift, and it's deeply liberating, because the less you resist life, the more energy you have to meet it skillfully. And when you meet life skillfully, karma transforms. So don't wait for peace to arrive. Don't wait for your circumstances to calm down. Begin living peacefully now, by choosing your response, by honoring your values, by softening your heart. You have everything you need. The moment is here. Now let's talk about something even deeper. Living with peace doesn't just benefit this life, it shapes the lives to come. Because what you cultivate now is the foundation for your next birth. Remember, Buddhism teaches that this life is not a one-time event. It's part of a continuum, a flow of consciousness that carries karmic energy from one existence to the next. Just like a candle flame lights another without being the exact same flame. Your life leads to another, different, yet connected. So when you choose kindness today, you're planting peace not only for yourself now, but for the one you will become. When you choose to meditate, to forgive, to love. You're not just healing this life's suffering. You're shaping your future lives. You're walking the Buddha's path, not toward escape from the world, but toward the awakening that transcends it. The Buddha spoke often of the end of karma, not as a rejection of life, but as the point where craving no longer drives our choices, where wisdom, compassion, and clarity guide us fully. When that happens, we're no longer creating karma that binds us to rebirth. We're free. That's the ultimate peace. And it begins with small, quiet steps, with the decision, each day, to live with more presence, more love, more responsibility. But even if enlightenment feels far away, peace is not. Peace is always one breath away, one choice away, one act of stillness, of clarity, of kindness. And the more you walk this path, the more it becomes natural. You'll notice yourself reacting less, loving more, feeling less tossed around by life, and more grounded within it. People may still misunderstand you. Life may still bring loss or challenge, but you will meet it differently. You will no longer be a victim of karma. You will be its master. And this mastery doesn't look like control. It looks like grace. Grace in how you speak. Grace in how you walk. Grace in how you fall and rise again. This is the fruit of spiritual practice. Not perfection, but peacefulness. Not immunity from life's storms, but a steady heart through them. And when others see you living that way, calm, kind, aware, they will be touched, inspired. Maybe they'll start planting better karma too. That's how peace spreads, quietly, powerfully, through one heart, then another. So if you've ever wondered whether your spiritual path matters, know this, it does. Every effort you make matters. Every meditation, every kind word, every decision not to follow your old patterns, every moment you choose peace over drama, truth over comfort, compassion over judgment, you're changing the fabric of this world. You may not see the fruit right away, but it is growing. Trust that. This life is no accident. It is your classroom, your canvas, your chance to live with depth. So honor it. Treat every moment as a moment that matters. And when it's hard, when you fall short, when you forget, just return. Breathe. Begin again. Because peace isn't something you achieve. It's something you return to. Again and again. In the end, all the teachings come down to this: cause and effect, awareness and choice, suffering and freedom, and through it all, a path of beauty and truth. You're already walking it. So keep walking, keep planting, keep softening. And when you forget, just remember, you're not here to be perfect. You're here to awaken. And in every moment you remember that, peace arises. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Thank you for walking this journey with me. If you've stayed until now, it means something in you is ready. Ready to live with more awareness. Ready to meet life not as a random series of events, but as a sacred unfolding. Ready to plant seeds, small, steady, and sincere, that can change everything. Your life is not an accident. Your presence here is not random. And the peace you long for, it's not far away. It begins with your next thought, your next breath, your next step. So let that step be gentle. Let that breath be mindful. Let that thought be filled with compassion. And when you forget, because we all forget, just begin again. Quietly, kindly. Because each moment is a fresh field. Each moment is a chance to plant better karma. May you walk forward with clarity. May you live this life with purpose. And may peace always find its way back to you, again and again. Until next time, be well, be still, be kind. Namaste.